Okay, this is my peeps talk about my family and my heritage. So over on the right is me. Like I said, um, working on my master's. I'm a full-time student, and I have two older brothers and one sister-in-law. And I was born in Georgia in 1993, and I'm white, and my native language is English. Um, Moving on, my mom and dad both went to the University of Georgia and got their bachelor's degree from here. My mom used to work in used to work at Macy's, but now she doesn't. She quit that job when she had my oldest brother, and she became a full-time mom, and now she works in the finance office at my church. My dad has always worked at a bank, although his degree is in physical education, so that's kind of interesting. My mom has two sisters and a brother, and my dad has two younger brothers. My mom is the youngest, and my dad is the oldest. My mom was born in Alabama, and then in 1960, and she moved from Alabama to Florida to Georgia, all before the age of 7. So even though she moved around a lot, she, mostly we can think of her as being from Georgia because it was all before she was 7. My dad, however, is a native of Georgia, and he was born here in 1958. Both of my parents' primary language is English, and my dad, an interesting fact about him is he was the first person in his immediate family to graduate from college. Moving on to my mom's parents. Um, my mom's parents met on a blind date, and they never lived in the same state until they got married. So my grandma is from Alabama, and my grandpa grew up in New York, and he moved to Atlanta when he was 16, and then he stayed there. Well, he stayed there ever since. I have, as far as I know, I only have white people in my family, so and we are all, well, no, we're not all English speakers, but just a side note so I don't have to keep repeating myself. Um, my grandpa is quoted to have saying about my grandma that she was a breath of fresh air compared to all the women he had previously met in Atlanta and New York, which is kind of a funny quote. And my grandpa was a business owner and a World War II and Korean veteran, where he played the bugle in the army. So my dad's parents, I don't really know anything about his mom because they got divorced when my dad was 3, and she, my dad didn't really see her ever again after that, except for maybe like a handful of times, and she died when my dad was in middle school. So there is no history about his mom. However, my dad's dad has, I do know about because I am very close to him. Um, he got a high school diploma. He worked in a factory, like working on machines and stuff. He had 3 sisters. He was also born in Georgia, and he was in the Navy. Okay, moving along to, let's talk about my mom's side of the family. So my mom's grandparents. Um, my mom's mom. That's kind of hard to talk about, but Dallas Ball up there at the top. She had 3 sisters, and she worked as a teacher. And her husband George owned a bakery in Alabama, which is why my grandma is from Alabama. And then my mom's dad's mom and dad, so the Adlers over there. This is actually really interesting. Edna Adler never graduated from high school, but her son got his bachelor's degree at Emory. So clearly she found education to be important. I think it was just one of those things where she couldn't keep going to school, and she was born in New York. I'm actually still close to people on this side of my family that go even further back than this, which we'll get to in a minute. So, like I said, I don't know anything about my dad's mom's side of the family at all. So, moving on. My dad's grandpa, Talmadge B. Erwin, which, if you haven't noticed yet, if you look at my dad's side of the family, everyone's name is Talmadge. That has actually always been a first name in my dad's family. I have no idea why they like that name so much, and it's my brother's middle name, so the tradition lives on. I don't really know anything about my dad's grandparents, but I do know that Talmadge B. Erwin lived with my dad when he was, I don't know, in high school, I guess, and they called him Poopy. His nickname was Poopy, so that's not a great nickname, but whatever. And then if we keep going further back, Dallas's parents are Ivy Rose and Henry K. Erchberger, and those people, I see the people related to those, like, I think it's Dallas's sister's kids. I still see those people on a regular basis, so we're still close, which is crazy because it's back 1, 2, 3, 4 generations from me, but I still know these people. And then if you can see, there's a lot of unknowns in this column. However, Marie Boland, who was my great-grandma's mom, is from Germany, and she came through Ellis Island, which is how the Adlers stayed in New York. And that's my northern side of my family, are German people. So I suppose Marie Boland's native language was German and not English. Okay, I think I'm almost out of time, so that's a little brief history about myself. And thanks for listening.